I begin, I'd like to take just a few minutes to introduce some very special guests that are here with us today. I'd like to start with our Board of Trustees, Mr. Francisco Rendon, who is our board chair. Mr. Trey Mendez, who is our vice chair. Sir? Texas A&M class of 90 is Mr. Rendon. Cannot not do that. We also have some wonderful people from the community, Mr. Fred Rusterberg, Dr. Villarreal, Dr. Hernandez. Rita, where are you? There you are, thank you. We have a member of our Board of Trustees from the BISD. Thank you for being here. Oh, I'm sorry, we have also Mrs. Garza, Board Trustee from TSC. And Dr. Reynaldo Garcia, also one of our board members of the trustees. Thank you for being here. Additionally, we have members from the Children's Museum. Are you here? There you are. I'm so glad that you're here. We're looking forward to partnering with you in the future. Senator Lucio, of course, our dear senator, also our dear representative, Mr. Eddie Lucio III. And we also have Isabel. Is Isabel here? Isabel, hi, how are you? She is representing Representative Oliveira's office, so thank you for joining us here this morning. I also want to introduce Mr. De Leon. Where's Mr. De Leon? There you are, sir. Thank you for joining us this morning. Appreciate that. And all the members of the community that are here, we're excited and very happy. Here at Texas Southmost College, we're fully committed to open access. We're fully committed to affordable education and fully committed to flexibility in regard to the educational opportunities that we provide to our students. Innovation has been a key word for us from the very beginning, sometimes out of necessity, other times because of the ability of our people to be very forthright in coming up with some wonderful, wonderful ideas. For example, TSC is a leader in the digital learning environment. This has really been very helpful for our students. It not only has enhanced their educational learning, but it's also reduced their textbook costs, again, allowing for more accessibility, more affordability in education. When TSC opened its doors in the fall of 2013, our Board of Trustees reduced tuition and fees by 37%. Isn't that amazing? These are things that aren't happening in the education world. But it's because of the belief in innovation and the fact that we really wanted to open up the doors for accessing the higher education opportunities. And today, because of this innovative new program, we're going to do that once again. And so we're excited to be here. This program is going to open up the doors for our students who are interested in pursuing an engineering degree. It's going to reduce their costs to completion. It's going to increase their ability to do it quickly, and they'll be ready to go into the workforce once they graduate from this prestigious university. And so with that, I'd like to, I hope you see how excited I am, because I am truly, truly excited. And I would like to give the opportunity to our senator and to our representatives here today if they'd like to say a few words before I turn it over to our chancellor here. Thank you.
Que viva, que viva.
Thank you, Madam President. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just so excited to see how TSC is developing and the leadership, the Board of Trustees, and of course our President. I think we have green pastures ahead of us in many respects. I want to, first of all, thank our corporate donor that is here today. I can't say enough about the private-public partnerships that are taking place around the state. And of course, the injection that we're feeling in the Rio Grande Valley is enormous. One of the things that I am very proud of is my good friend John Sharp. Everywhere he goes, there's excitement. He's blanketed the valley in so many ways, on so many issues, address so many important things that we obviously have been in need of over the years. And I see a lot of good Aggie friends here this morning. I'm happy that now I know how I can get them somewhere. I can just invite John Sharp and they'll be here. But seriously speaking, thank you, Chevron. Thank you for all that you do, not only here, but throughout our great state. And I'm just blessed to have an opportunity to work with my son in Austin. And over the years, I've seen how much Chevron and others have contributed to great causes. Higher education is so important. I rushed out of the house this morning. Unfortunately, I didn't put on my dad's ring. He had a Texas Southmost college ring back in 1950. After the war, he got his degree here, his 2-year degree. I'm prehistoric. I went to Texas A&M. I should have waited a few years and it had been Texas A&M, Kingsville, and I could have boasted about being in both institutions. But welcome, everyone. It's great to be here. It's great to see the leadership in our corporate industry. It's great to see the great leadership in higher education that is present here today, and the public that has come out to savor this important moment. And I'll call my son up here at this time. Thank you.
Good morning. I too am extremely excited to be here. It seems like over the course of the last 5-6 years, some amazing things have happened in South Texas. You know, I say this, there was this perception, at least in my generations, and I think generations before it, that if you grew up here and you didn't leave, you didn't achieve success. Well, my children, my daughter is going to grow up with such a positive belief in where she is raised that no longer will be a mentality that children have moving forward. And what a wonderful thing to have. And it's because of the collective work of all those leaders that I see in this room, community leaders that I've seen involved, Mr. Rusterberg, Mr. Tipton, so many of you, Mr. Wood, that I grew up going to these events and seeing you there event after event after event. So to our community leaders, thank you. To Chevron, I too want to thank you for your investment in South Texas. I have a quick funny story about Chevron. When I graduated high school, at my graduation party, my dad gave me a Chevron card. And my first semester of college, I get a phone call, and it was from my dad. He wasn't very happy. He said, "Son, I just got a call that you maxed out your Chevron card. How is this possible?" So it wasn't buying all the gas from Chevron, it was all the food. So I always smile when I hear Chevron. So thank you for your investment in South Texas. And of course, the Texas A&M. You know, when being a Longhorn, no booze, please. You come I came into the legislature with a certain bias, but there is no greater institution to work with than Texas A&M. If I pick up the phone and I call John Sharp's office, someone is in my office the next day, and we're talking about how to enhance higher education in South Texas. And to my friend John Sharp, I had a chance to spend a few days at his campus doing some business development, education for a group of us that went, and just blown away by the things that are happening with the Texas A&M system. So congratulations, Chancellor. And of course, to my friends at TSC, what a great institution to be, I hope, part of the family. I feel that way. Mr. Chairman, Madam President, I'm excited to continue to work with you. You know, I grew up with Trey Mendez, and one of the things that he makes sure is part of his friendship is that I'm committed to Texas Southmost College. So here I am. It's a great day to be in South Texas. I hope you get to stay a little bit before you go back, and thanks again, and may God bless this great endeavor. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the Chancellor, Mr. Sharp. Thank you so much for being here, sir. We're excited. We really are.
Howdy. Yeah, there are a bunch of Aggies here. Good. Good to be here with all of you, and especially with our friends from Chevron and a loyal son of A&M, Shark, who has made this all possible. My role was real simple. I gave Lily's cell phone number to Kathy Banks, and I gave Kathy Banks' cell phone number to Lily. And these two women put all of this together and did a great job. I want to talk a little bit about, and especially good to be here with Lucio Brothers. And Eddie, that's the first time I've heard business development, drinking beer called business development. So it's really good to be here to announce this very unique opportunity for Texas A&M and for Brownsville, and particularly for those young men and women of this area who dream of being world-class engineers. Let me give you a few facts to start off with. Texas will experience the largest growth of high school graduates of any state in the nation over the next 10 years, with over 87,000 more graduates by 2025. A whole bunch of those graduates are going to be in this neck of the woods. And over that same decade nationally, we'll need approximately 1 million more science, technology, math professionals, as discussed by the President's Council of Advisors in Science Technology in all of their reports. We know two-year institutions were specifically identified in that report in the U.S. STEM education system, with a total of 1,738 two-year institutions. And of course, Texas A&M is known for producing top engineers. We're known for Aggie engineering. Our graduates are the number 2 recruited by Fortune 500 companies in America. There's only one university that starts with higher starting salaries than our graduates. And so partnering with colleagues at a 2-year institution and Chevron to help get more students interested in engineering is a huge deal for us. With the program announced today, we're going to where the students are. We're helping them get where they want to go. Some of these students may not be ready to leave home yet. It may not be financially feasible for them to leave home yet. And so going to a 4-year college right away might not be in the cards for them. But with this, these engineering academies are going to give them a head start. They get to stay close to home, take their regular coursework, plus get started on some engineering classes, and those classes will be taught by Texas A&M professors. And right here in their own community. And when it comes time to transfer to Texas A&M, they already have a great foundation to continue their academic success. First question you're going to ask is, will they be accepted at A&M? So you don't understand, they are accepted at A&M the first time they enroll in these classes. When they get to A&M, they'll be part of the Dwight Look College, which in U.S. News and World Report rankings, depending on the categories, 3rd, 9th, or 5th in different categories in the United States. Number 2 in nuclear engineering. Only MIT is above them. Of course, we think we're above MIT. And now I want to introduce the lady that put this together. She's the most innovative dean in engineering in the country, with her 25 by 25 program at Texas A&M University. And to talk more about this particular program, the Dean of Engineering at Texas A&M University, College Station, Dr. Kathy Banks.
Howdy. So this is such an exciting day, and it's a great honor to be here for this wonderful announcement. You know, in Texas, we're going to have so many technology problems in the near future. Everyone recognizes that. So I think we all recognize we're going to meet as many talented engineers as we can get in this state. And we need them all at the table. We need all of the brightest and the best engineers working with us to solve these problems. Some of the brightest students in Texas, though, may not be able to go the traditional path toward an engineering degree at a top-ranked institution. Perhaps circumstances will not allow them to leave home for a year or two, and that's what came to our attention. And when we talk about bringing everyone to the table, training the very best engineers, it only makes sense to reach out to a community college, excellent community colleges, such as Southmost. You know, this is not just a transfer program, and the Chancellor mentioned this. This is not a traditional transfer program. It's not a distance education program. We're not just going to be sending live streaming courses down here. The students are accepted into the College of Engineering and enrolled in the College of Engineering, they have a spot from day one. They're also simultaneously enrolled in classes at Southmost. That's what's so unusual about this program. Texas A&M engineering faculty will be on campus, on Southmost campus, to teach freshman engineering courses, sophomore engineering courses. They will have academic success program for the engineering students, and they'll advise the students to make sure they're ready when they come to College Station when they're juniors. Students can live at home for 2 years in that way. They can save money. They can also participate in a top-ranked program that is very high regard by employers all over the nation, such as Chevron. We know the model works. Our data show at Texas A&M College of Engineering that students who come from a 2-year institution are more likely to receive an engineering degree than those students who started as freshmen. So we aren't concerned about the quality of the students. We know that these will be excellent students, and they will succeed when they come to College Station. And it's important to remember that we're a land-grant institution. We were started 135 years ago with the purpose to educate the citizens of Texas. The Academies, with help from Chevron, has now made the Academies a reality. Our bright young people, and I think everyone in this room would agree, are our greatest resource. And we need to make sure they have every chance, every opportunity to succeed. Thanks to Chevron, we greatly appreciate the donation. Without your donation, this would not be a possibility. Shark Yosefi, who is the Chevron Vice President for University Relations, is with us today, and he will give Chevron's perspective on this new program.
Howdy. All right. You know, when I do this in California, I usually get dead silence, so we have to do it about 2 or 3 times. You know, I couldn't be more delighted from several perspectives to be here today. Number one, this is the latest chapter in our about 100-year relationship with Texas A&M. So thank you all for being here to usher in this new chapter. And I rode with the Dean of Humanities, and he was telling me about this beautiful performing arts center, but more importantly about the beautiful people and the wonderful talented people that populate Texas Southmost College. So not only is it the latest chapter in a 100-year history with the premier, in my mind, institution of higher learning in America, not only for the education that it delivers, but also the education outside the classroom. It is the beginning of a wonderful new relationship with Southmost College. At Chevron, as you can imagine, we get a lot of requests. We are the proud employers of 10,000 people across Texas, mostly engineers, but we were also starkly reminded of the fact that President Obama's Council on Job and Competitiveness in America outlined the single most the single biggest hurdle, the single biggest impediment to increasing competitiveness and productivity in America, and that is the shortage not just of STEM, but really specifically of engineers. We also are very, very cognizant of the fact that you cannot spend your way into higher performance and you cannot cut your costs into higher performance. What you have to have is a very innovative corporate culture. And innovation is derived from diversity. And the point of fact is particularly with Hispanic engineers, although Texas A&M is doing much better than most other institutions, particularly in my native state of California, with a population of approximately 50% Hispanics by 2050, we still only have 15% enrollment. And the treasure trove of talent, particularly of Hispanic and African American talent, is in the community colleges of Texas. And if you believe that diversity promotes innovation and innovation promotes ingenuity, this is a competitive edge for us. So we couldn't be more delighted to do this. As Kathy mentioned, we were also struck by an organization called the National Action Council of Minorities in Engineering. And they did a study, a longitudinal study, that showed that transfer students, particularly transfer students from peoples of color and underrepresented populations in engineering, not only have higher GPAs, but better outcomes in graduation in schools of engineering. So it's not just Texas A&M, but this is a study at 50 institutions. So it was the intersection of a corporate requirement to have a diverse workforce. As a citizen, a corporate citizen of Texas, we almost have as many employees in Texas as we do in California. And the ability to link with an organization that has provided so many leaders to Chevron, the Texas A&M University. This was sort of a no-brainer. I was telling John, you know, when the price of oil drops by 50%, it's hard to begin initiatives like this. But given the imperative, the business imperative, this is not just a moral imperative. This proposal just sailed through because of the people that were involved. People like the Southmost College, people like Texas A&M, and certainly our alumni. So I wish this program great success. We look forward to not only welcoming many of its graduates into our ranks, but really into the ranks of the oil and gas industry in Texas. So gig 'em. Introduce Executive Vice President and Provost, Karen Watson.
Howdy. Thank you all so much for being here today. I'm speaking on behalf of President Young of Texas A&M University, who regrets he couldn't be here to shake all of your hands and say thank you for letting us go into this endeavor. I want to take just a moment to tell you that I have been at Texas A&M for 32 years, and we have known all of that time that Texas Southmost College has been an outstanding contributor of students, especially in the last few years. So congratulations to all the work that y'all have done. Those 32 years, I spent most of it in the College of Engineering at Texas A&M University. I'm looking at some of you and saying, I think maybe you had my class, I'm not sure, but we have a great College of Engineering, but what makes it so great is their understanding that we need to diversify. I'm not just talking about diversify the color of people's skin or the background or the accent they have. We're talking about their mindset, their perception, where they come from, how they think about problems. And part of that is making sure we are welcoming students that take a different path to get to Texas A&M, and this academy is making sure of that. But none of it could happen without great corporate sponsorship. A lot of you will say, well, if this is so good, why don't you just do this anyway? And all of you in education, whether you're in pre-K through 12 or whether you're in higher education, know that usually you have to show people it works first before any funding can come from it. And it makes it very hard to innovate in higher ed and in PK through 12, because if they won't give you the resources to try to innovate, then it's hard to prove that this innovation is going to work. And what Chevron has done so graciously for us is provide that opportunity for us to show not only people in Brownsville and College Station, but to show the entire nation. This is a model that is going to be better for what the United States of America needs. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Well, as you can see, it is indeed a very special day for Texas Southmost College, for Texas A&M, for our students, and for this community. And we are just ecstatic to start rolling up our sleeves and getting down to it, Dr. Banks. We will move forward. In closing, I'd like to just take a moment. I know that many of you are from Texas A&M, and I understand recently there was the passing of a gentleman who was very important and played a big role at your institution, Mr. Crow. And I wanted just to take a moment of silence to recognize his achievements and his passing. So if you will join me in that, I'd appreciate that. Thank you. And so I understand, where's Max, Mr. Roca, my assistant? We have, do we have some goodies back there, right? We have some unique, a unique cake to represent Texas A&M and also the Texas Southmost College relationship. But we also have a wonderful, I guess, poster, right? That we want to go ahead and unveil here. The other thing that we want to do is here at TSC, we truly appreciate when we have visitors coming to join us, and we just wanted to say thank you for being here with us, for joining us. And then we have other packets for the rest of your members that are here. Okay, here we go.